Welcome to the Total Body Yoga Workout. My name is Sarah Beth, and before we begin, grab a block or something like a block. You might want to strap to if you're feeling tight in your chest and shoulders. When you're ready, meet me in any seated position and place your hands in your lap. Relax your shoulders, close your eyes, and deepen your breath in and out through your nose. Maintain a smooth, slow breath in and out through your nose throughout the rest of practice today. And if at any point you lose your breath, remember you can always take a break in a seated position or in child's pose. Your breath is your calm. When you're ready, rise up into a tabletop on your hands and knees. Just drop your belly, lift your chin, inhale. Exhale to round your spine, tuck your chin, and continue taking any movement that feels good for you. Eventually, meet me in downward facing dog. And let's find ragdoll at the top of our mats. Separate your feet about hip distance or wider. Gentle bend in your knees. Grab onto your elbows and relax your neck, head, and jaw. As your hamstrings begin to open up, deepen your breath in and out through your nose. Now release your elbows. Toe heel your feet together to touch and find halfway lift. Slide your hands up to your shins, even to your thighs, and roll your shoulders back as if you were trying to pinch a pencil between your shoulder blades. Lengthen out through the crown of your head. Take a big inhale. Then forward fold, breath out. For chair pose, sit back into your hips, reach your arms overhead, soften your shoulders, and press your inner thighs, your knees, and your ankles together. Inhale. Exhale, airplane your arms and interlace your hands behind your lower back. And if this is a strain, getting your fingers together, then use your strap as an extension of your reach. Now keep your hands as they are and stand up as you roll your shoulders open, lift up through your heart, big breath in. Exhale to forward fold with your chest expansion. Hinge at your hips, gentle bend in your knees. Head hangs heavy, hands fall forward. Next is halfway lift. Take your hands to your shins, roll your shoulders open, inhale. Exhale, plant your hands, step your feet back, and take chaturanga, high to low plank, elbows graze your ribs. Inhale, upward facing dog, lift up through your heart. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips high and back. And as you can see, I'm taking a modified variation. You're always welcome to skip or modify at any point. From your down dog, reach your right leg high. Inhale. Exhale, step it through low lunge. Position your ankle directly underneath your knee, then rise up into a crescent lunge. Arms reach up, sink low into your hips, and drive back through your left heel. Good. Open up into Warrior Two. Arms reaching front and back. Track your right knee open and firm up through your core. For Reverse Warrior, reach your right arm up to the ceiling, and we'll add a half bind. Wrap your left arm around behind you, touching the back of your left hand to your right glute. And if you're feeling extra flexible or you have longer limbs, try using your left hand to grab onto your right thigh. Either way, use the half bind to physically roll your left shoulder open. Inhale. Exhale, cartwheel both hands down to your mat, chaturanga and vinyasa through to downward facing dog. For the left side, reach your left leg high. Inhale. Exhale, step it through, low lunge. With your ankle directly underneath your knee, find crescent lunge. With your arms reaching up but your shoulders relaxed, sink into your hips and drive back through your right heel. Use your ujjayi breath in and out through your nose. Then open up into warrior two, arms reaching front and back. Firm up through your core and keep everything engaged. For reverse warrior, reach your left arm high and add your half bind. Wrap your right arm around behind you and roll your right shoulder open and back. Inhale. Exhale, both hands down to your mat for chaturanga, high to low plank. Elbows graze your ribs, neck in line. Find upward facing dog, even your legs are engaged. Send it back to downward facing dog. And let's flow. Inhale, look up, bend your knees. Exhale, step your feet to the top of your mat for halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, sit low. Exhale, airplane and interlace your hands behind you. Inhale to stand up and roll your shoulders open. Exhale, forward fold with your chest expansion. Then find halfway lift, big breath in. Chaturanga as you breathe out, high to low plank. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale, send it back, downward facing dog. Right away, reach your right leg high. Inhale. Exhale, step it through to a low lunge. For crescent lunge, inhale, reach your arms overhead. Then exhale, open up into warrior two. Stay strong. Then find reverse warrior, add your half bind to chaturanga, high to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, left side. Inhale to reach your left leg high, fewer cues this time. Step it through to a low lunge. Find crescent lunge, breathe in as your arms reach up. Open up into warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior with your half bind. Exhale, chaturanga, high to low plank. Find upward facing dog. Send it back to your down dog and let's keep it going. Inhale, look up, bend your knees. Exhale, step your feet to touch top of your mat for halfway lift. Forward fold. Take chair pose. Then airplane and interlace your hands. Inhale to stand up, lift up through your heart. Exhale, forward fold with your chest expansion. Find halfway lift. Then chaturanga, high to low plank. Strong up dog. Send it back to down dog. Reach your right leg high. Low lunge. Inhale to crescent. Take warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior, half bind. Then chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Send it back to downward facing dog. Then right away, inhale, reach your left leg high. Step it through. Crescent, warrior two, reverse warrior, and keep it going until you make your way back to downward facing dog. When you're balanced out both right and left sides, you're welcome to take a child's pose or a sip of water, and we'll all meet up before we continue with our next flow. So when you're ready, make your way to downward facing dog. Find your ujjayi breath in and out through your nose, loud and controlled. And reach your right leg high. Inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, reach your right leg high. Exhale, step it through to your low lunge. Now this is where you might need your block. Set up half moon. Right hand down, left hand high, as you lift your left leg into the air and drive back through your left heel as if you were trying to kick through a wall behind you. Keep your gaze set on one spot for balance and maintain lift and strength through your left leg. From here, add a half bind. Wrap your left arm around behind you. Use it to help roll your shoulder open and back. We're not here for very long, so find your grace and step back into reverse warrior with your half bind. So bend in your right knee, right arm reaches high, left arm wrapped around behind you. Inhale. Exhale to extended side angle with your half bind. Roll your left shoulder open and back as you slide your right forearm inside of your right shin. Now just a little movement in this next transition. For a triangle with your half bind, just straighten out your right leg. Keep a little bend in your right knee for some control. Use your Ujjayi breath to stay grounded. And as you sink into your legs, make sure that you're not caving your chest forward. Half bind keeps you rolling open. You're welcome to look up or down or sideways, wherever works for you. From here, reach your left arm overhead. Big inhale. Then exhale, settle into warrior two, arms reaching front and back. From here, make your way to dragonfly. Plant your left hand down onto the mat, reach your right arm high. And your back heel will pop up off the mat. Drive through your back heel. Stay lifted through your chest. Grip into your left hand and make your way to wild thing. Gracefully step your right foot behind you. Keep your left leg straight. And lean back into your chest and shoulders as you reach your right arm overhead. Beautiful. Then make your way back to downward facing dog. And let's take the left side. Inhale, reach your left leg high. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, reach. Exhale, low lunge. Set up half moon. You can prop your left hand on fingers or you can prop your hand on a block. But try not to view the block or any use of a prop as something negative or positive. Just find peace with practice exactly as it is. And to add your half bind, wrap your right arm around behind you and roll open through your shoulders. And slowly step it back into reverse warrior, reaching your left arm high, big bend in your left knee. Inhale. Exhale, extended side angle with your half bind. Slide your left forearm inside of your left shin. Soften in your inner thighs and roll open through your shoulders. For triangle with your half bind, just straighten out your left leg. And you might need to lift up a little higher to help you lean back. Over time and with practice, you can sink deeper into your hips. But for today, find peace in the pose that serves you. Adding on, undo your bind and reach your right arm overhead. Big inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Settle into your strong pose. Then for a dragonfly, Plant your right hand down on the mat and reach your left arm high. And gracefully make your way to Wild Thing. Step your left foot behind you as you lean back and reach for the front of your mat. Big inhale. Exhale, find downward facing dog. Then lower down to your knees for a sip of water or child's pose. Well done. Allow yourself to appreciate the sensations of your practice, to appreciate how the postures unfolded today, without wanting or wishing or even labeling anything as good or bad. It just is. So when you're ready, make your way back to downward facing dog. Then inhale, look up, bend your knees. Exhale, step your feet to touch at the top of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Find chair pose. Sit back into your hips. And for eagle arms, wrap your left arm underneath your right. Cross at the elbows and again at the wrists. Then for eagle legs, lift your left leg above your right and kickstand or wrap your toes all the way around. Now sink into your hips and sit back into your spine as if you were leaning against a wall. Set your gaze on one spot. Then slowly and with control, make your way to airplane pose. Drive back through your left heel. Roll your shoulders open, lift your arms a little higher, and strengthen your body over your standing leg for 3, 2, you'll slowly step it back. 1, find crescent lunge, reach your arms overhead, sink into your hips, inhale. Exhale, open up, warrior 2. Now take your hands to your hips, straighten out both legs, and pivot your right toes parallel with your left. Take a big inhale. Exhale, hinge at your hips to forward fold. And feel free to take any variation that serves you. We'll be here for a few deep breaths. Now grab your block and place it inside your left heel, slightly behind even. Turn your left toes open 45 degrees. And for a prop skandasana, bend your left knee as you sink your hips down towards your block and pivot your right toes to point up to the ceiling as your right leg lengthens. Then adjust the height so that you can take a seat on your prop. Then reach your right hand over to grab onto your left ankle. And reach your left arm up to the ceiling and overhead. Yoga is not about matching the textbook pose, being the perfect yogi model. Yoga is so much more than even just the physical practice. But when we're here, practicing postures, allow the poses to just unfold within your body. So from here, take both hands back down to the mat and make your way into an extended side angle facing the front of your mat. Right hand down, left arm high. Add your half bind, left hand reaches behind you, and we'll go into a full bind. Reach your right arm underneath your right thigh to clasp onto fingers. And this is where you can take your strap and dangle it from your left hand for your right hand to grab. Wherever you are, roll your shoulders open, lean back. And if you want to take this one step further, set your gaze out in front of you Maintain your bind and slowly lift your left leg up as you straighten out your right leg for a bound variation of half moon. This is a challenging pose, okay? So if you fall out, take your time as you come back in. Approach it with curiosity, excitement, and wonder. And you've got about 30 more seconds to explore and play. Then shake it out or take any other posture that serves you. And when you're ready, meet me back into a chair pose. Sit deep into your hips, arms overhead, shoulders soft. Set your gaze on one spot and we'll set up eagle arms, right arm under left. Now set up your eagle legs, right leg above your left. Sink into your hips. Lean back into your spine. Gaze is set. Breath is controlled. Slowly and mindfully unravel your arms and legs, making your way to your airplane pose. With your shoulders rolling open, drive back through your right heel and lift your arms a little higher. Breathe. And slowly step it back, find crescent lunge. Inhale. Exhale, open up warrior two. Then straighten out both legs, pivot your left toes parallel with your right. Hands to your hips, big breath in. Exhale to fold, hinge your hips, come all the way down. And settle into whatever variation serves you. For our propped Skandasana, place your block inside of your right heel, slightly behind it. Turn your left toes open, then deeply bend your right knee to take a seat on your block and flex your left toes up towards the ceiling. Stay broad through your chest. And reach your left hand across to grab onto your right ankle. Reach your right arm up and overhead and breathe. Especially in our world of go, 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 consume, want, have, practicing peace is a really good way to just look around. This is good. And even when it's not good, acceptance of a negative experience is in itself a positive experience. It's all good. Lower both hands down to your mat. Then make your way to your extended side angle, left arm down, right arm high. Add your half bind, then move into your full bind using your strap or clasp fingers. Lean back, roll open, then set your gaze out in front of you. Anchor your weight evenly through your left foot. Slowly and mindfully begin to float your back foot up off the mat. No rush, take your time. As your right leg gets higher, your left leg will straighten out. But this is practice, this is play. Just have fun for 30 more seconds. Then shake it out and make your way to downward facing dog. Let's cool it down with some deep stretches. For half pigeon, bring your right knee to your right wrist, even open towards the right side of your mat. Sink into your hips and take your time as you slowly surrender down. At this point, you can release your ujjayi breath and just breathe deep into your belly. So no need to control or constrict any muscles in your throat, but instead breathe in and out through your nose. So your inhales inflate your belly and your exhales deflate. Then slowly rise. Come back to downward facing dog and switch sides. Left knee past your left wrist. Sink into your hips and take your time as you slowly surrender. Stay soft and relaxed. And just appreciate the sensations of this pose as you breathe deep into your belly. Take your time as you rise and make your way to your final downward facing dog. Then lower down into extended child's pose at the back of your mat. Now gently lift up and thread your left arm underneath until you're lying down on your left shoulder. Left ear comes down to the mat. Add a half bind by reaching your right arm around behind you so the back of your right hand is touching your left hip. Then just breathe as your body settles into place. Gently lift up and switch sides. Thread your right arm underneath. Take the half bind with your left arm wrapping around behind you, palm facing up, and settle into place. Come back into extended child's pose with your arms long in front of you. This time take your knees even wider, even off the sides of your mats until you start to feel a lengthening in your inner thighs.